What is something that doesn't exist in Islam? Do you know what is the thing that doesn't exist in Islam? I'll give you a moment to think about it. If your answer is the age of consent,
you're goddamn right.
This is disgusting. So of course you need some sources to prove that, right? Well, I have more than that. What if I told you that in Islam, not only does it allow pedophilia, but also encourages it? I can already hear the screams of millions of Muslims, and this video isn't up yet. So let's start with this, okay?
Okay.
So before we begin, you need to know one thing about Islam. There is this guy called Muhammad, okay? And he's the founder of Islam. He's basically the reason behind every terrorist attack ever. So this guy is considered to be the perfect human being in Islam, God's favorite man. He's even called in the Quran to be on great morals.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, what is that? What's the Quran, you ask? Well, the Quran is the last book that God has sent to humans, and He gave it to Muhammad to deliver it to us. But not in one piece, He gave it to him over time. But let's not get away from the main topic, I don't want to lose you in the lore just yet. So anyway, this guy, Muhammad, had a friend named Abu Bakr, who had a little girl named Aisha. So Muhammad saw this girl and he went to her father and told him, "Hey Abu Bakr, I want your daughter to marry." And Abu Bakr was like, "But we are brothers." I don't think. But Muhammad then said, "We are brothers in religion, not literally. So she's mine. What do you say, step bro?" So Abu Bakr agreed, and he married her at the age of 6, and he slept with her at the age of 9.
Take this shit no more, man.
This is what the hadiths say. So, what is that? You don't know what hadith is? Well, to make it easy for you, hadiths are basically narrations and tales about Muhammad and Islam in general. And they come in different grading system. Sahih, which means correct, and that's like the best one, like the most reliable hadith in Islam. Like sheikhs and imams consider this to be authentic. Like Muhammad really did do this and did say this. There is no doubt. Of course, that's in Islam. If you believe in the religion, you need to believe in these hadiths and that they correct and that they actually happened. So these are authentic sources. There's Hasan, which means good. There's Da'if, which means weak. And there's Maghlut, which means wrong or incorrect. Now, just for your knowledge, Muslims do take weak hadiths as accurate sometimes, and they accept it. So if they are in these 3 like up categories, you can't deny them, especially if they are the Sahih ones. You can't like disagree with that one, because sometimes they even take the weak hadiths as acceptable. So yeah, when it comes to the hadith about Aisha being 6, well, when Muhammad raped her, this hadith is sahih.
What did he say?
Nice job, team.
Now some Muslims like to defend this, which is pretty fucked up. But they say stupid shit like, "Oh, when she was 9, she was already a grown-up girl," or "Girls used to grow up very fast back then." Which is all stupid claims. But also they say, "Well, people used to marry children back then, so it's the norm." Well, even if that's true, so because people did it back then it should be done in our time? Or is this like okay because people did it in the past? Of course not. It was not okay back then, and it's not okay now. Besides, wasn't he supposed to tell people these things are wrong and harmful to children, and that they should stop doing that instead of joining them and doing the same thing? So yeah, this is the Prophet of Islam. It's even mentioned in the hadith that she used to play with dolls and watch other kids play. And it also says that she was a kid and did not reach puberty yet. I guess it's not too late to mention that he had a dream about her where an angel delivered like Aisha to him and uncovered her for him. This guy's pretty fucked up. He even recommended to his companions to marry children like him. So I guess this puts this case to rest, right? Well, some Muslims will say, I do not believe in the hadith or anything that is not the Quran, so I don't care about this. Okay, so first of all, how you need the hadiths for the rest of Islam to work and for you to understand the rest of Islam, to pray, to fast, and so on and so forth. Without them, you will not know these things. And second, the Quran did say that you can divorce children. So the backstory of this is that Muhammad talked about women menstruations in earlier verse. But people came to him and said, well, you didn't say anything about like old women and young children and pregnant women and like that. So what about them? I guess God forgot like to mention them. He had to wait until someone reminded Muhammad about this. He basically released an update. This happens a lot, by the way, in different forms. Muhammad wants something or a current event happens and he needs saving. Voila, an update to God's internal world happens. And then you hear Muslims say that the LGBTQ community is fucked up and they are immoral and wrong and they shouldn't be doing that and stuff like that. And the LGBT community in the future will allow the marriage of children and incest and all that kind of like fucked up sexual stuff. Well, the irony and hypocrisy is immeasurable in this religion, as well as the homophobia. Now you might say, wait, incest? I mean, you already proved that pedophilia exists, but incest? Are you saying Islam allows incest? Well, I'll give you a moment to think about this. And tell me, do you think Islam allows incest?
What do you think?
Yes, it does. In fact, Muhammad married his first cousin Zainab after he divorced her from his adopted son. So basically, she's his cousin and his daughter-in-law. So
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
yeah. The backstory of this is also funny and gross. You see, Muhammad once entered his son's house and saw his wife with underwear on, so he got horny. His son then divorced her because of this. But apparently Muhammad kept on telling him, no, don't do it and keep your wife. He wanted her so bad that then he decided to get Allah involved and release an update again. He married her. It's mentioned in the Quran and in the Hadith as well. Incest is very widely practiced in the Islamic world, reaching almost more than 50% in some countries. And as an ex-Muslim who lived in said countries, I can tell you this shit is everywhere. That is why Saudi Arabia and other Islamic countries have a lot of inbreeding and fucked up children and child marriage and a lot of like bad stuff. Like I've seen a lot of couples who married their cousins and the children came like very disabled because of that, and this is widely practiced. And I've seen a lot of old men who like get lusted over 15-year-old girls, and like they even talk about it in public right in front of you. Like you could talk to someone on the street and or like on a taxi ride and he would literally say that in your face. So it's not like hidden or something or shamed. And if you like bring the fact that it's immoral, they'll always bring the religion and you know, the stuff that I just said, basically, that Muhammad did it and the religion allows it, and you shouldn't abide with the Western values and stuff like that. And if they don't bring that, they will just shut up. Muslims follow the examples and the teachings of a 7th century man, an evil man, a terrorist who killed and raped so many people, a disgusting figure and a character that the world would have been better if he didn't exist. But this is only the surface level stuff. He also slept with a dead body once in front of everyone and said it was for her to enter Jannah, aka paradise. Fucking hell, man. I guess that's enough for today. Come back later when you feel better. And remember, Muhammad once ran back to his wife after getting horny from seeing a woman in the desert walking by herself. And then he called her the devil.